And some big games coming up right here amongst the Tobacco Road teams. NC State at Carolina on Wednesday night, Wake at NC State on Saturday, and of course, that Duke-Illinois game at Madison Square Garden on Saturday night. Let's talk about the Wolfpack and the Tar Heels and the Demon Deacons and the Wolfpack. How big of a week, David Glenn, is this for Kevin Keats and the Red and White?
Well, they get to play spoiler, right? I mean, they're not going anywhere this year. They're probably not even going to the ACC tournament at all. But locals love these matchups. The Wolfpack will be on the road in Chapel Hill on Wednesday. Don't like their chances there very much. But they get to host the Demon Deacons on Saturday, and they could throw a wrench into Steve Forbes' chance or bid to make the NCAA tournament for the first time in his 5 years there. And we talked about the Illinois-Duke matchup on Saturday night in a variety of ways. So I'll just add one more quick thing and then hand it over to Coach Keating. To me, from a conference perspective, besides Wake and Carolina winning games that they're supposed to win, the most important game for the league is actually Clemson at SMU. It's a Saturday game, and the Mustangs have a pretty good record right now at 19-6. We know Clemson's in good position. But that SMU record, while pretty, is mostly a mirage because their best wins right now, guys, even at this very late stage of the season, are over Pitt and Stanford, which are more likely NIT teams. And that sort of resume that SMU has right now is almost never enough to make the big dance. So SMU's final regular season opportunity to beat an opponent that is good enough to get an at-large bid to the NCAA tournament is this Saturday when they host the Clemson Tigers. All these teams obviously have additional chances when we all meet in Charlotte for the ACC tournament. But that Clemson-SMU matchup matters for seeding purposes to the Tigers, matters for survival purposes to the Mustangs.
You know, it's amazing when you look at their non-conference schedule when you talk about SMU. They played two SEC teams and split. They were able to beat LSU, who's now all of a sudden the top 100 team, mostly on the strength of the entirety of the SEC. And what would deem to be a good loss, although a home loss against a Mississippi State team that's now 29th in the net. I can't wait to hear, and you just know it's coming. It's a who did you play or who did you beat? Like it's almost like who's going to win that bingo game of what the committee chairman is going to say as to why SMU did or did not get in, why Carolina did or did not get in, and if they really kind of hold it against the ACC as a whole when those teams' fate are decided, whether it's Wake Forest, whether it's SMU, whether it's Carolina, or even Pittsburgh at this point. Look, we had the run last year with NC State in the ACC tournament. I was kind of high after watching Stanford play in person. They might be that type of spoiler team that could put 4 wins together come ACC tournament time, albeit having to travel 3 time zones to do that. I'm not so certain of that now, given their recent lack of success. I don't know if there's a team like that exists, other than maybe the teams we already know. And we may not, whether it's Clemson, whether it's Louisville, teams that have shown they're maybe capable of beating Duke. Certainly Clemson already has done that and accomplished that. Can Carolina be that type of team? You already talked about the fact that NC State most likely isn't even going to get a chance to defend their title by not even showing up to the tournament. So all they're left to really play for at this point is to be that role of spoiler and to get some sort of momentum going in for the kids that are returning. I think the biggest thing if you're a team like NC State is what happens to your roster after this year? And I'm not talking about who gets added, it's who gets subtracted. Because more or less the kids nowadays are going to look at the immediate results and what can transpire in their own personal way, someplace else, whether it's getting to the tournament or getting more financially rewarded. And this will be a testament to see how strong the infrastructure is at NC State right now, coming off of what happened last year, getting themselves ready, and albeit having a lot of close losses. Remember, we deemed them the horseshoes, the hand grenade team back in the middle of January. They were almost there, right? So do they really feel like they're almost there if this roster comes back? Who leaves, who stays, and for what reason, and how strong is Kevin Stranglehold on this team, on this program as a whole, and can he manage it to keep it intact to have a rebound year next year? Really, the impetus falls on these last 6 games for NC State to finish strong, to have some sort of momentum going into the offseason, and take advantage of the fact that they're not in postseason and get in that portal early. Like there's benefits and advantages to everything. There's disadvantages to some things too. The one advantage they may have if they're smart about it is being able to get a jump start on the portal and seeing if there's some trades going on, if you will. Are we going to lose some guys, pick up some guys? Where are our deficiencies for next year in terms of who we lose and who we may be able to get? And do we have those relationships intact to keep the guys we need to come back next year and take advantage of this time that we have to go out and maybe go get some new guys right away before anyone else jumps on them in the portal?
This is the moment we waited for. Everything you want is right here. We gon' give them what they came for. We gon' take it up from last year. Shoot 'em my shot, boy, I'm long range.